Please select destination.
It was the bizarrest thing. There I was at the back of the Rogue Motorsport pit garage at the Britcar 24-hour race. Nearby there was a screen showing some of the video footage of the TORA races. That's the online racing association who were kind enough to invite me along to this little shindig. The event itself was totally awesome. There were 8 Xbox pods set up running the Forza Horizon playable demos, and a further cluster of 4 Xboxes set up with GT Omega race seats and Fanatec CSR Elite wheels and pedals. It was brilliant, but you can read all about that on the feature I wrote specifically about it. Back to that bizarreness though, because that wasn't it. The bizarreness was the question one of the race officials in attendance asked while he was watching the footage. Is that real racing? Think about that. Is that real racing? What constitutes a positive response there? Yes, they were real people taking part in a race event with cars that had been specifically prepped for that occasion. They were subject to strict rules with regards both the cars themselves and the on-track behaviour. They qualified for a starting position and raced until the end, and then there was a winner. For me, by all of those measures, yes, this was real racing, but that's actually not what he meant. He meant real as in, could I go and touch those cars, smell the petrol, etc., etc. And of course, no, he couldn't. But here's my particular thought for this in-game. What constitutes and defines real? I wrote a piece on TORA about a year ago. I've predicted great things for them. They have a unique position as they are officially sanctioned as a racing association by the Motorsports Association of Great Britain, the MSA. And that's the exact same body which governed and oversaw the Britcar 24-hour race event that we were at. TORA have a hefty set of rules in place for all of the race series that they run. They commentate on the races, on the videos. They have year-long championships. In fact, the only difference between the championships that TORA run and the ones that use hard metal cards and hard hydrocarbons is that TORAs are much, much cheaper to enter. Let's look at another game type though, poker. Is online poker any less real than sitting at a green baize table holding real cards? The casinos certainly don't think so. They're investing millions into online games simply because they are real. If we go even further afield, let's have a look at the military. We now have pilots sitting in command and control bunkers, flying planes over enemy territory and taking out the bad guys. I'm not saying that that's a game, certainly not, but the resonance is there, certainly for me. Last time I talked about gamification and the adoption of game methodology into our workspaces. As games and game theory become more widely used, they become harder to define by their presentation and the technologies. When does a game become a simulation? When does a simulation become remote control? And would you be able to tell the difference? There's a very good book which takes this premise. It's called Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. And I'd recommend it to anyone who's even remotely curious about where all of this stuff could go. If you aren't into heavy sci-fi, then perhaps a slightly easier read is Only You Can Save Mankind by Terry Pratchett. Slightly easier read and probably also a little bit more humorous as well. Is the future all virtual though? No, I don't think so. I actually hope not. I like the smell of burnt petrol. But if we look at what's been accomplished so far, there's no reason at all why we couldn't be expanding our thinking to include virtual events as well as physical ones. Keep an eye on those TORA guys. They're building the future. And you know what? So could you. I'll see you next time.